Serving Nigerian Senator, Prince Chinedu Munir Nwoko, well known as Ned Nwoko, has been accused of sending policemen to arrest his in-laws, after his fourth wife and a popular Nollywood super actress, Regina Daniels, ran out of the matrimonial home over alleged domestic violence, intimidation, oppressions and maltreatment like a nobody in the senator's house. The Serving Nigeria Senator, Ned Nwoko, accused the absconded wife, Regina Daniels, of substance abuse, denying her allegations of domestic violence, adding, he made efforts to stop her addict of substance abuse, hence the wife, Regina Daniels, became violent and she started assaulting the domestic staff and destroying properties in the house. According to Ned Nwoko, in a statement he had issued less than 48 hours after the star actress ran away from her matrimonial home in October last month, while I took Moon to the hospital, a scene of chaos unfolded at home, orchestrated by Sammy, Regina's main drug supplier. Another known supplier of drugs to Regina is the tiny evil devil called Anne. In a swift reaction to the arrest of his son and Regina Daniels' brother yesterday, Rita Daniels, the mother-in-law, accused the Serving Nigeria Senator, Ned Nwoko, of trying to bite the finger that fed him, saying, Ned Nwoko married her daughter because she was a popular actress, and the senator needed the high star of her status to boost his fallen star. Fellow contestants in the last concluded presidential election in Nigeria and Anambra State, former Governor Peter Obi has said that the current president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government, lacks the passion to stop the unwarranted killing of people in manners of criminal acts including terrorism, stressing that, while the insecurity did not start with the present government, what is most unfortunate is the lack and absence of competence, commitment, prudent use of resources, patriotism and passion on the part of APC-led government leaders to effectively govern, galvanize and lead Nigeria where no one is unwarrantedly oppressed and killed, a nation where peace, truth and justice reign. This, Peter Obi stated via his social media accounts on Monday evening in response to the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to launch U.S. military action in Nigeria to wipe out terrorists killing Christians in the West Africa country. According to Peter Obi, the recent pronouncement by the U.S. government declaring Nigeria a country of particular concern, CPC, and indicating possible military action should give every well-meaning Nigerian serious concern. There is no doubt that Nigeria is experiencing an unprecedented level of insecurity with attendant carnage and the most shocking loss of lives and property. According to Amnesty International, Barrister Jefferson Uwoghiren, a human rights lawyer and a political activist, has said, nothing wrong if it takes the intervention of the United States, U.S. President Donald Trump to end the raging fires of insecurity, institutional wickedness and terrorism in Nigeria. The legal practitioner stated this in numbers of posts he published through his personal social media platform since President Donald Trump announced U.S. intention to launch military action in Nigeria to wipe out terrorists killing Christians in the West Africa country, saying, if America's saber-rattling military threat is the dirty water needed to flush this country clean, or quench the raging fires of institutional wickedness, insecurity, and terrorism, so be it. According to Barrister Jefferson Uwoghiren, dirty water they quench fire. Nobody, yes nobody, deserves to die in the hands of terrorists. If it takes Trump's intervention to wake up disgraceful governments to act swiftly, vigorously, patriotically, and responsibly, so be it. The primary business of government is the safety and protection of the lives and properties of citizens, whether Christians or Muslims. If America's saber-rattling is the dirty water needed to flush this country clean, or quench the raging fires of institutional wickedness, insecurity, and terrorism, so be it. Now government way serious. Lagos State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has declared the founder and publisher of Sahara Reporters news media, Omoyele Sowore, wanted for organizing protest in Lagos State, which, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Moshood Jimoh, said Sowore has allegedly committed the offense of breach of public peace, and the police commissioner thereafter confirmed the arrest of 13 persons he described as vagabonds and miscreants. As group of people came out on Monday morning to protest against the demolition of their settlements after their houses at the Koka and Ojulari areas of a Warrenshoki community in Kosofe local government area of Lagos State were brought down at midnight on Saturday, hours after the state government announced that it had compensated about 80 property owners on Friday, forcing some concerned citizens to condemn the government for displacing families without a clear plan for relocation and reintegration into the housing system. This, Omiyele Sowore, in an on-the-spot video statement made on Monday at the scene of the protest, said he could not come down from the vehicle because he had a privileged information that there was plans to kill him if he comes out openly during the protest. According to Sowore, the action of the police explained why President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S. is considering military action in Nigeria because the U.S. president has seen weak leadership and leaders do not mean well for the people. According to Ogun State-born Princess Olatorira Majekodunmianiru has reacted over the description of Nigeria as a disgraced country by President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S., saying, "The greatest contribution the United States and its allies can make at this pivotal moment is to support the genuine democratic emergence of visionary, credible, and people-centered Nigerian leaders, not the preservation of a kleptocratic status quo that has entrenched poverty, division and despair," calling on the international community for the urgent need to uphold democracy and human dignity amid President Trump's plans to begin U.S. military actions in Nigeria to end the killing of Christians in Nigeria. While reacting to the recent remarks by President Donald Trump portraying Nigeria as a disgraced country, Princess Olatorira acknowledged the deep governance challenges confronting Africa's most populous nation but emphasized that Nigeria's struggle is not one of Christian-targeted conflict, but one of governance, justice, and humanity itself. The greatest contribution the United States and its allies can make at this pivotal moment is to support the genuine democratic emergence of visionary, credible, and people-centered Nigerian leaders, not the preservation of a kleptocratic status quo that has entrenched poverty, division and despair. True partnership must empower integrity and merit, not those who have rigged themselves into. President Donald Trump of the United States of America has placed U.S. soldiers on red alert for possible war in Nigeria. According to President Trump, the U.S. Department of War should prepare U.S. troops for possible military action in Nigeria if the Nigerian government continued to allow the killing of Christians. The U.S. troops may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. This, President Trump issued on Saturday evening in line with Greenwich Meridian Time after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu personally signed a statement rejecting Trump's earlier claim on Friday that Christians are being targeted and killed in Nigeria. Although President Bola Ahmed Tinubu disagreed with Trump, who had described the high level of insecurity in Nigeria as a religious war by Islamic terrorists against Christians, but some Nigerians quickly took to the comments section of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu post on X social media platform, and pasted a screenshot of a tweet published by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on January 29, 2014, wherein President Bola Ahmed Tinubu apparently had long accepted and agreed that the insecurity in Nigeria is possibly a religious war against Christians in the West Africa country. Verbatim, in the tweet, Tinubu said, "The slaughtering of reports on Saturday early morning in the Africa country of Tanzania indicated that thousands of youths in the country have continued mass protest in the Tanzania capital city of Dodoma, also simultaneously in the country's former capital city of Dar es Salaam, which remains the country's largest city and its main economic hub, while streets in Mwanza, Mbeya, and Arusha have remained occupied by the aggrieved youths who the major opposition political party, Chadema, claimed have been shot at, and over 700 of them have been killed by security operatives since the violent protest erupted in the country on Wednesday over the 2025 presidential election allegedly marred by corrupt practices." But the Tanzania Foreign Ministry dismissed the claim, saying, the Tanzania government is not aware of any death recorded or any of the protesters killed, adding, the government has not used excessive force on the protesters. The United Nations UN Human Rights Office stated on Friday that it has a credible report of at least 10 deaths recorded as a result of killing of protesters by the Tanzania security forces, and information from border communities between Tanzania and Kenya indicated that, on Thursday, October 30th, in the afternoon, chaos broke out at the Namanga border checkpoint as Kenyan and Tanzanian youth threw stones at Tanzanian police, and the police responded with live ammunition. And Kingsley Kanunta Kanu, the younger brother to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in an X-post as reshared by Barrister Uwoghiren Nwoko, the coordinating lawyer for the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has given reasons why his elder brother had continued to defend himself on the ground of no case submission, saying, the federal government of Nigeria, who made the accusations and filed the terrorism charges against the Biafra leader, has not been able to pinpoint any aspect of the Nigeria laws that should warrant his brother, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to enter defense, citing several court rulings that invalidated the federal government accusations against the detained Biafra leader. This, Kingsley Kanunta Kanu stated in reaction to the commentary of Dr. Sam Amadi, published on This Day newspaper, after the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on Monday, abandoned his earlier plan to call witnesses in his ongoing trial before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Nnamdi Kanu, who is being prosecuted on 7 counts of terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government, last Friday, had prayed the court for an adjournment after informing the trial judge, Justice James Omotosho, that his former legal team, led by a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Chief Kanu Agabi, San, had yet to release his case file to him. Though, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has issued a revised policy actions over the 2025 presidential pardons he had earlier granted to 175 persons, some of whom were convicted murderers, deadly kidnappers, which included Mariam Sanda, who had spent barely 6 years and 8 months at the Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center after she was convicted and sentenced to death by hanging over the killing of her husband, Bilyaminu Bello, in Abuja, who she stabbed 3 times repeatedly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his earlier presidential pardon granted to the 37-year-old convicted and condemned murderer, Mariam Sanda, had asked her to go home free because of her children, but, following public outcry and condemnation, in the revised version of the presidential pardons signed into law on October 21, 2025 and made available to the public by the presidency on Wednesday, October 29, 2025, President Tinubu commuted the death sentence to 12 years imprisonment, although the presidency never mentioned the total numbers of people granted the presidential pardons. But the list of beneficiaries made available by the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, indicated that only 86 persons were granted the presidential pardons, and Mariam Sanda, apparently spelt as Mariam Sanda, was last on the list, and the names of earlier beneficiaries. Human rights lawyer, Barrister Jefferson Uwoghiren, has condemned and berated the federal government of Nigeria under the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for arresting, detaining and remanding to Kuje prison, Barrister Uwoghiren Nwoko, the lawyer to the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, after Uwoghiren Nwoko was seen joining the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest in Abuja on Monday, according to the human rights lawyer, who have remarkable experience in fighting against police extrajudicial killing. One notable exception is that a lawyer enjoys less freedom than others to speak publicly about his or her own cases, but not when it involves solidarity marches and protests for his client. The conducts of lawyers and the limit of their professional duties is the kernel of the alarming accusation by the presidency yesterday against the lawyer of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu and his subsequent arrest by the police for his presence at a scene in Abuja, where protesters were marching peacefully demanding the release of Mr. Kanu. The statement from the presidency and the police action is obviously a culmination of undisguised hostility towards the lawyer for having the temerity to represent a person the government have since prosecuted and convicted in the court of public opinions. Ordinarily, a lawyer's bail application for alleged crime of illegal protest won't be refused. The refusal is concerning and turning a simple matter into a political case of vendetta and persecution. Nigeria Police Force NPF, under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, who is currently in the United States, US, attending the International Association of Chiefs of Police, IACP annual conference in Denver, Colorado, USA, alongside other senior police officers, has warned troublemakers to resist the temptation of hijacking the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest slated to hold today across the West Africa country by the organizers and other group of Nigerians to demand the release of the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Also, the NPF reminded the organizers and the protesters to respect the federal high court order that restricted them from staging the protest in certain areas in Abuja, such areas which included Aso Rock Villa and its environs, the National Assembly Complex, Force Headquarters, the Court of Appeal, Eagle Square and Shehu Shagari Way, while assuring the protesters of protection. The NPF, in a statement issued and made available by the force spokesperson, Benjamin Hundeyin, indicated that the Nigeria Police Force reaffirms its unwavering commitment to upholding the rule of law and maintaining public peace in accordance with constitutional provisions. This follows the subsisting order of the Federal High Court, Abuja Division, given on the 17th of October 2025, by Honorable founder of Sahara Reporters News Media and the organizer of the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. Omiyele Sowore has refuted and debunked the reports circulating in some sections of the media that the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has stopped the upcoming Monday, October 20th mass protest organized to demand the release of the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, saying, "The media report is false and a calculated attempt to distract members of the public from coming out to join the protest," adding, "Nnamdi Kanu is so sick that the people must come out now to set him free." The sickness, as alleged by Omiyele Sowore, apparently challenged the medical report issued by the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, who had submitted its panel report before the trial court on Thursday that Nnamdi Kanu is fit to face trial, that the sickness is not life-threatening, but Punch newspaper reporter at the court on Thursday reported that it was the Department of State Services, DSS lawyer, who happened to be one of the parties in the dispute that presented the NMA medical report before the court. We are yet to ascertain the independency, fairness, objectivity, accuracy and transparency of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, in conducting the medical examination. In a statement on Saturday, Omiyele Sowore said, "The Federal High Court in Abuja has not stopped the proposed Free Nnamdi Kanu."
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.